we're going to look at how we can get input from the user, specifically text from the user. And there's a few different ways of doing this in Java, but the way we're going to use is to use something called the scanner. So I've got my new project here. We've got our main method and our main class. And we're going to write a simple application that is going to ask the user for their name, retrieve their name from what they type in, and then print hello followed by their name. So we could start with system.out.println and type a message, please type your name. One thing that's important to do when we're writing programs is to make sure that it's clear to the user what they need to do. So although technically to get their name and print it out we don't need to ask them for it, it's only because we know that we're writing the program what's expected, so it's helpful to put messages in. So to get data from the user we can use something called the scanner. So if we start typing scanner and we hit enter, watch what happens up here at the top of the file. Okay, it's actually pushed us down by 2 lines, although we didn't see that happen, and it's added an import statement to java.util.scanner. So scanner is a class and it sits in the util package inside the Java package, or the java.util package. Okay, now we don't have to add an import if we use the full name, so we could instead put java.util.scanner, and we don't actually then need that. Okay, it's complaining because we haven't finished, so we'll give it a name. We'll call it input scanner. And to create a scanner we have to say, we've given it said what it is. Like when we create a string, we say string, my string. We said java.util.scanner input scanner, and then we say, well, actually this input scanner is going to be a new scanner, so we'd say new java.util.scanner. And we have some braces here. So in order to construct a scanner, we have to tell it what it uses for its sort of data source. Okay, and for that you might be able to guess it because we've been printing out to the console using system.out. So if you have a guess, you might think what goes in here. If you've guessed it, it's system.in. If you guessed it, well done. And we need a semicolon at the end of the line. Okay, now this is a bit long-winded, so I think it's generally better to say, well, we'll import java.util.scanner, and then we can just say scanner and scanner, and that keeps it a bit shorter. Okay, the reason we have packages is because theoretically, let's say we're building a piece of software to work with like a printer scanner device that can scan things in, that might also be called scanner, and therefore we need some way of differentiating between them, and that's why they have those package names. So we've got our scanner, okay, and we can ask the scanner for things. So we could say, we've called it input scanner, we can say input scanner dot, and then there's an option called next line, and that will get the next line of text. You can see here it says string. That means it gives us back a string. So there are other options, next int, that gives us an int. We haven't talked about ints yet, so don't worry about that, but we're interested in next line, so it gets the next line of input from the user. Now doing that alone won't do anything with that line of input. Okay, it's still complaining we haven't got a semicolon. So what we do is we take this, which gives us a string, and we store it in a string variable. We could say user name, because that's what we've asked them for. Okay, and we'll pop the semicolon. So now this value is going to be what the user has typed in. So if we want to say hello, we could create another string. We could say, we'll call it the output, or greeting, because that's more accurate. It's going to be a greeting, and we're going to say that's going to be hello plus the username. Need a semicolon at the end of the line, and then finally we can print that out. So as a reminder, the shortcut SOUT puts system.out.println in if we're using IntelliJ IDEA, and we could just print out the greeting. So let's run our code to see what happens. So we'll run it. Okay, it says please type your name. So if we haven't seen that, program finished with exit code 0, that means our program is still running. We can now type our name in here and press enter. When we do that, so we're here at this point, the code is here and it's waiting for the user to type a line. When we do, it will take that value, it will store it in username, it will put it together with hello, and it will print it out. There we go, we've got our output. Okay, So that's how we can get data from the scanner. We create a scanner, we ask the scanner for the next line, we store that in a string variable, and then we do what we want with it. In this case, concatenating it with hello and printing it out.